14.2, CrossFit Open here, 2014, 14.2 again. Today, the workout today has 3-minute component where it's 3 minutes of 2 rounds of 10 overhead squats and 10 chest to bars. It's a multiplier workout, so it's going to just what I call pay to play. So you got to pay to play. Each round would be the 3 minutes. At the end of 3 minutes, inside that 3 minutes, actually you have 2 sets. The 2 sets would be the couplet of the 2 exercises. The 2 exercises, the overhead squat and the chest to bar pull-ups. At the end of 3 minutes, if you complete that, which you will, it's going to bump you over to round 2, which would be another 3 minutes. However, in the 2 sets of overhead squats and chest to bars, now you're doing 12 and 12. And then it compiles again and it moves on to 2 sets of 14 and 14. And then in the 4th round it goes to 16 and it just keeps going up. When we look at this, the numbers compile quickly. You know, if we look at per round of each exercise, you're gonna have 20 overhead squats, 20 chest to bar pull-ups. In the first round, total of 40 reps in the first three minutes. Going into the second round, now you're talking 24 reps per exercise, 44 reps total for the workout, and with the both exercises combined, you're at 88 already. I know that's a lot of numbers. I have this broken down in the article as well, but I want us to look at the end of the 3rd round, you know, you're already doing a total of 72 overhead squats and a total of 72 chest to bars inside that total of 9 minutes, which is a total of 144 reps. The next 3 minutes is going to get real serious. So inside of 12 minutes now, you've done a total of 104 pull-ups and 104 overhead squats. I really think the determining factor here is the chest to bar pull-ups in the sense that the volume is compressed in a short amount of time, and so you're going to have some muscle fatigue there. So that's going to be something you really want to key on through this workout. Ideally here, it's a work to rest ratio of 1 to 1 in the beginning, so meaning that when you get out, you're going to want to work not very hard, but move at a steady pace in the sense of about 45 seconds a set. So that means 1:30 for the first round, and then that will give you a 1:30 for rest as well. So that's a 1 to 1 ratio. If you can sustain that, and you should be able to sustain that into the second round, that's good. All right? If you slipped off by 5-10 seconds, so you're at a 1:40 and you only get a 1:20 of rest, that's okay as well. When you start getting into that 3rd round, if you let it go, the first set is 50 seconds, the next one's 110. Now you're talking about only having a minute of rest, all right? On the 4th round, if you have 30 seconds of rest or 10 seconds of rest, now you're probably not gonna get out of the 18s, all right? If you really want to get out of the 18s, you got to have yourself a minute rest. So then that's a 2 to 1 work to rest ratio. So you're working for 2 minutes, resting for 1 minute. You can sustain that. You're not going to sustain that very long. Just like the 1 to 1, you're not going to have that for more than 2 rounds as well. If you can, you got something special going. Getting into the 20s or the 6th round, it's going to be rare, but there's going to be some high-level gamers that I believe will make that. This 5th round, the 18s, is a key component for regionals. I could be wrong, but I feel like top 60, top 100 is going to sit inside there. So that's the spot. If you're looking to make it for regionals, get inside those 18s, get to that 5th round, make it past the 16s. When we look at the overhead squats for the advanced, I highly recommend that from the beginning you start unbroken. Moving into halves for the intermediate, and the beginners want to do thirds. So again, you know, 5, 5, so 5 overhead squats, drop it, 5 overhead squats, same thing, 4, 3, 3. This should keep you slow, at least to get you out of the first round, and then at least set you up to succeed in the second round. You might not make it out of there as a beginner, but that's a great accomplishment. The 3rd round is a good spot for intermediate, and then getting into the 16s for intermediate advance is pretty good. But when we're talking regionals and games, you're talking 5th and the 6th round. Pull-ups is just merely a ladder. It's a reverse ladder. So each round, you know, you're looking at 2 sets of 5, 2 sets of 6, 2 sets of 7. So it's a reverse ladder all the way up. when we look at this for the advanced kids, I want you to think about doing it in halves or in thirds from the get-go. I wouldn't really mess around with getting into doing the first sets unbroken. There's really no need. You got plenty of time. You should be able to still accomplish doing it in halves and still get the 1-to-1 work to rest ratio. For intermediate, start with thirds, start with it, trust me. It's just ideal so you don't have any muscle fatigue. And the beginners, start with fourths. Just start off with the 10s, start off with 2-2, or 3-3-2-2. So that's where you want to go as a beginner. Let's go ahead. Kind of a little bit bigger picture for the pacing, and ideally what we're going to look at inside this workout. The overhead squats, again, I said, do them unbroken. You got the first set is about 45 seconds. Second one is about 1:30 at the most, 1:45 when you're done with both sets. The pull-ups, again, start with halves. You could do 4-3-3. Overhead squats for the 12s, unbroken again. Don't let that time slip away. Keep those time stamped. So repeat for the first 2 rounds. Pull-ups, 6s, and then 4s. Something that you got to be very aware of is if suddenly you go into the 14s, or let's say you're in the 12s, and suddenly you're doing pull-ups, and the pull-up slows down just to reach the number scheme, know to move on in the next round or the next set. So meaning that if I come up to the pull-ups and I go 7 and it's like 5, 6, and it's a struggle to get to 7, when I go to my next one, I'm going to go 4 and 3. There's no need to do another set of 7 because I've already slowed down so much. And then the next round, I would always go to thirds from then on in. Chip away, going into the 16s, same thing here. You might be able to drop the overhead squats and split it, but it's going to be risky. It's going to be risky, it's going to be tight, but you can play with that. I think it's possible. The 20s, just hold on for dear life. If anybody gets there, I do believe there's going to be a handful of kids that are going to get inside there. The key thing that I would tell you is when you hit the wall, find a way to make it around it, make it over it, make it under it. Figure a way to get through that wall, dig down. This is going to be a very tough mental workout. It's going to require you to pace yourself and find yourself some type of environment to stay calm in. If you were to correlate this to something else, I would correlate it to the beep test. So the beep test starts off real slow, and then it gets going real fast, real hard. So that avalanche, when it starts going downhill, just be prepared for it and find your way around it. Just chip away, chip away. Good luck.